Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday, and this is a special edition of Pop and Politics. We are live talking about the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ, along with my amazing co-hosts. We have Crystal, Yana, and Shelly E. All right, join the conversation by leaving a comment on YouTube or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. If you miss us here on YouTube, you can also catch us on Rumble or listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the same name, Pop and Politics. Guys, we are an independent media, and if you want to support what we do, you can donate. Also, we love our super chatters. Any amount is appreciated. Guys, this is not just a podcast, it is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that understand we have a target on our backs because we choose freedom. So we stand against the crazies. I say on the left, we stand together. So in order to amplify our rallying call for freedom, please subscribe. Please stay connected in our community so we can do that. All right, ladies, let's set it off. How's everyone doing tonight?
I'm good.
Good.
Great.
All right, so we're going to get right into it. We're starting off tonight with Easter. So how was everyone's Easter? Did you guys enjoy your Easter holiday yesterday, Easter Sunday?
I love Easter. It's my favorite holiday.
Oh, good. Okay. Yes, I had a wonderful time too with family, friends, church. But it set off a firestorm yesterday, starting with Joe Biden. So Joe Biden was kind of in the hot seat over the weekend for reiterating his proclamation for the International Transgender Day of Visibility, which this year fell on Easter Sunday. Led to a lot of backlash from religious groups and Republicans who criticized the administration for not acknowledging the religious meaning of Easter. So the White House criticized those who called out the president, citing his Christian faith. So they put out a statement basically saying, and I quote, "As a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American." Sadly, it's unsurprising politicians are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric. President Biden will never abuse his faith for political purposes or for profit. So that's what was the statement that was put out. Still, there were several people that were upset about this. Before I get you guys' response, as I mentioned, he proclaimed it was International Transgender Day of Visibility. So where did this come from? I want you to take a look. It was all started by a woman, a biological man who identifies as a woman named Rachel Crander Crocker. Take a look here, and then I want to get your responses to this issue that occurred. All right. Here's a video of Rachel talking about how Rachel came about this holiday. Okay, let's see.
Oh my gosh.
I may have to. Everybody, this is a beautiful and amazing.
That woman is slow.
Transgender Day of Visibility 9 years ago. Yeah, yay!
We see you, sir. We see you.
And I was hoping that maybe a few people would like it. Oh my God. Oy vey. It's even celebrated in Vietnam, Africa, Ireland, almost everywhere.
Yana, don't lose your
Even
salvation.
celebrated in Russia, however, very quietly.
So there you have it. This is the person that created this, as he said 9 years ago. I want to start with you, Shelley. Should people have been upset? Should Christians and Republicans have raised a stink about this proclamation?
No, they shouldn't have wasted their time. I wasn't. I don't think they should have either. This is not a holiday. It was a proclamation of foolishness. This man, basically, all he really wanted was a day to celebrate himself. That's all. We typically call those birthdays. That's what we typically call them. Not to have a whole day going national day of proclamation or notoriety. So this is nothing but narcissism. And he looks like Rachel Levine. That's what I mean. I know his name was Rachel Crocker. He looks like Rachel Levine, the other man that pretends to be a woman. Having said all of that, no, I don't think Christians or anyone else should have gotten upset and made a big to-do about this. This has been going on since 2009. And just because it happened to fall on this Easter, this Sunday, of course the Bidens were going to make a big deal out of it. Why would they? This is not their religion. I mean, they are literally almost heathens, if you will.
I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal. Should you agree? It's not a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal for Christians or Republicans.
I thought it was so funny, but I mean, it is a big deal, and then it's not, right? So we have to fight these people with the pettiness. I think it was Tyrone we were talking about, like with the pettiness that they come at us. Like if you want to seriously, he could have easily said, sorry, not available. We're going to celebrate Transgender Disability Day. That's what I call it. We can celebrate it on Saturday, but unfortunately this year, if he wanted to be respectful to Christians in a Christian nation, he could have did that. He didn't do that. These people don't respect us. They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't respect us. And so we need to come at them with the same kind of like petty. And that's why I kept calling it Transgender Disability Day, like ignoring them, like no one cares. Because if you want to ignore my religion, ignore my faith, and be disrespectful, then I can deliver that same thing back to you.
Kiana, what are your thoughts here? I mean, do you think people should have pushed back on this or just ignored it?
Well, I'm glad that this year this Transgender Day fell on Easter, so now more people know that they did come up with this day, and which is ridiculous. And I think people should react to it. We should not have this kind of we already have too much visibility. Didn't he have like Dylan at the White House already?
Mm-hmm.
He had a man with boobs, like naked on
last year. I think it was
on White House lawn. Like there's too much visibility for these people. And another aspect, so this person who came up with the day, who was speaking earlier in the video, I mean, obviously he has some kind of developmental condition. And so another thing about the transgenderism is that it's been noticed that a lot of people who are autistic now are coming out with transgenderism, and these experts and doctors and whatever, they're transitioning them physically, where these people actually have a condition, something that something not really adding up in their mind, their brain. So but they're making them physically different now, which is abuse of these people who have a disability.
I totally agree. And you brought up a good point. I agree. I am so happy that this fell on Easter. I am, because it brought light to the fact that they're doing this. And it was not just, because I saw some Republicans saying, well, this was something that's always been celebrated and it just so happens to fall on Easter. No, it wasn't always celebrated. It just became a proclamation under Biden. I don't care. We have big days all over the calendar. There's Sunday, there's sibling day, there's sister day. There's all these different days. But when the White House, acknowledges this day, they made a proclamation, then it becomes codified. And he did this. Obama didn't do it. Trump didn't do it. So it started under Biden. It did not happen in 2008, 2009, 2011. It did not happen because they did not proclaim it. It was proclaimed under Biden. So yes, it was a blasphemous. It was awful that it fell on Easter because he proclaimed it.
And I'm sure
it was on purpose. It was on purpose. I think it started in 2009 in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that Christians, Republicans, whatever, I think in some way, maybe we made it more, more of a deal than it needs to be. I'm not saying that it should. I'm saying by that twist, if you will. Oh, I think it was an FU. I do think it was an FU to religious people, to Christians. I do believe that. However, what I'm saying is that, I hope that people did not stop enjoying the day and the significance for it to lend time and effort to this foolishness.
I think people actually got to celebrate even harder, hopefully this year, because and I'm sure it wasn't an accident also from Biden to actually make a proclamation this year when it happens to fall on Easter. So if they, because especially this year, he decided to make a big deal about it. So we have to make a big deal about it too. And religious people have to make a big deal about these things. For example, in the country of Georgia, the Republic of Georgia, they have a very pro-Western government that is sponsored by the West, and they keep pushing the homosexual transgender agenda in that country. And every year, pretty much, they're saying, we're going to have a parade. We're going to have a pride parade. And every year, the religious people gather prior to anyone else who can get there, and they completely stop the whole event. Because it's like, no, we are the citizens of this country and we're not letting this happen. So what I'm saying is that the religious people need to stop ignoring this, as their country literally is being destroyed, and we have, basically Satanists in the White House. So what if we had a Satan Day? Should we ignore it as well?
Yeah, and call it what it is. I mean, like, these people have a problem. Like, if I, you weren't born in the wrong body, because you don't get to choose what your body is. Like, you have a maker, and your maker made you what you're going to be. And so for us to kind of like even just allow them with good conscience to be like, oh, they just feel this certain way. Like, you don't let me feel rich. You don't let me feel like the CEO. And you don't let me feel it doesn't work with anything. If I said to you right now, I feel like I want to be skinnier and I'm going to get liposuction, people will be like, oh, I get lipo. Like, we judge everything else. And for this, we act like it's so normal. Like, it is not normal for you to say that you want a vagina when you were born with a penis. I'm sorry.
And I think I'm happy that it occurred. It fell on Easter also, because we follow this stuff. We know, what the left is doing and all the craziness and madness that they push. But believe it or not, there are a large chunk of people that don't know this stuff, and that, it flies under their radar. So, the fact that this was on Easter and more religious people, more Christians, more Republicans or conservatives were pushing back about it, raising awareness of it. The people that didn't know about it were like, what? And then, well, what are you talking about? They were like, that's crazy. I didn't even know it was a proclamation. Well, yes, it's a proclamation by Biden. This is another thing that they have pushed and are creating, that is craziness.
Right. Well, two things to what you're saying, KJ, in that sense. Number one, like I said before many times, this is their religion. Leftism is their religion. So in a sense, they were celebrating their religion. And number two, just as the left tries to rename with the buildings and the statues, they are attempting to rename every Judeo-Christian holiday on the calendar. They are trying to make them something else and give that something else the significance, pushing the actual holiday that we celebrate in the West, or certainly in America, pushing that under the carpet. This is another part of their sinister, their outright plan. They're not even hiding it anymore.
Yeah, but I don't have any faith in it.
45 days.
KJ, I don't have any faith in it though, because I mean, like this type of stuff has been happening for the last 4 years, even under Barack Obama, like even those 8 years that we were on Barack Obama, and they get outraged and then they do nothing, and the church gets mad and then they do nothing, and they still vote Democrat, and then they still, Trump will say something and they'll say, oh, well, I can't vote for him because he's a racist. Like they are so comfortable moving the goalposts, pushing the lines with Christians, because the fact of the matter is we just shown ourselves to be punks. They ain't gonna.
They can't say they didn't
Another
know.
issue is with Christians themselves. The whole idea with love, love is love and Jesus is love. I hear it from Christians, and unfortunately, it's in the churches, this type of acceptance, and even in the Catholic Church recently, where the Pope said that the priests can bless homosexual couples. So it didn't say he can bless the marriage, but it came very close by saying bless homosexual. I mean, how close can you get? So if it's already in the religion that's supposed to be really conservative, then all these non-denominational and Unitarian churches, there's no hope for them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, but like we said, at least you can't say you didn't know. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is what I was trying to say earlier. There are 145 days dedicated to LGBTQ. 145 days on the calendar dedicated to this. This is ridiculous. Dedicated to the way someone decides they want to have sex.
I know.
We don't care. We do not care. No, visibility is not needed. We see you. We hear you. We don't need it anymore. Just delete it all. Just
we wish we didn't see that everywhere. It's literally everywhere. It's in commercials. Like if you're trying to watch a video, you're gonna see a commercial with either a trans or a homosexual person.
Yes, in child movies. It's in kid movies now. It's in, oh God. It's everywhere. Like, and you guys, y'all just make us like, y'all remind us is what you're doing.
Like, well, to repeat, to quote a famous president, we are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. What did people think fundamentally transforming meant? What did they think that meant?
You're right. You're right. I do want to acknowledge a super chatter here. We have our first true super chatter of tonight. Joe says, oh, no, it's not Joe. Gail Drake says, this is a stab in the eye to Christianity. They would not do that to Islam. They have an ENT irony. Oh, what's that? ENT?
I don't know. And I don't know. I think it's just a typo.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Gail. We really appreciate it. And you're exactly right. I mean, once again, this is what they're doing. And like you ladies have said, I mean, Christians continue to just take it, and they continue to keep these people in office as if it really doesn't matter. So we will continue to follow this story. Keeping on in line with the theme of religion, we move next to Trump. So former President Trump is now selling Bibles as he runs to return to the White House, according to the New York Post. Trump, who became the presumptive Republican nominee earlier this month, released a video on his Truth Social platform on Tuesday, urging his supporters to buy the God Bless the USA Bible, which is inspired by country singer Lee Greenwald's patriotic ballad. So I want to take you guys to take a look at this clip. For you guys who watch Jason Whitlock, he is on Blaze TV. He has the Jason Whitlock Show, and he has some thoughts about this Bible. And I want to get you ladies to respond to his take on this. All right, here we are. internet's moving slowly. Let me see.
I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again. Pray, get educated, get motivated, and stand with me and the legions of Americans asking God to bless our great nation, to bring our great nation back, and to make America great again.
Now is the time to give away Bibles, not sell them. The appearance that Trump wants to profit off Jesus and Christian faith is an awful look. He should take down the website and hand out copies of the God Bless the USA Bible at all of his future rallies.
I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible.
I was just starting to like him again. I was just starting to like that Negro again.
Well, I'll start with you, Crystal. What are your thoughts? What do you think about him selling the Bible, and what are your thoughts on Jason Whitlock's comments?
Bibles are for sale, you guys. That's just if you want a good Bible, think about it. A Bible is a book that is man-made. Yes, the words are spirit and they are life. That's what the Bible says. My words, they are spirit and they are life. Not the actual physical book. It costs money to produce. It costs money to bind it in leather. It costs money to print. It costs money to create a Bible. And think about it. Anybody from an intellectual background, from Intel, you pay money for study materials. You do. So the audacity of people to look at him for promoting a Bible that is a great Bible, it's in great shape, is annoying to me anyway. And then Jason Whitlock, like, oh, you should. Oh, sir, so you're the only person that's supposed to be selling stuff? Like, you sell your paraphernalia and you sell all that stuff. You have a problem with Trump promoting the Bible? The Bible? He's not selling it, you guys. That's what I want everybody to understand. He is not selling it. It's for sale and he's promoting it. That is very, very different.
Shelley, what are your thoughts on this? Now, he not only with the Bible, you get the King James Bible, and then he also said, directing his supporters, besides King James, you also get copies of the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Thoughts on this and Whitlock's comments?
I hope sales go out the roof, number
Me
one.
too.
I got mine on order. I think it should be here in the next 2 weeks.
Me too, girl.
I ordered one. That's number one. Number two, Jason, totally disagree with him on this. Look, I want Christians, religious people, whatever, make up your minds. Okay, make up your darn minds, because you will go to every Bible bookstore, like Crystal said, every Bible bookstore, and you will purchase whatever. That's fine. This is called America. If anything, what Trump is doing, selling, promoting, whatever, he's doing it the American way. Okay, I'm sure you can get a free Bible. How I know people who steal Bibles from church. I mean, come on. I mean, they literally steal them from out the pew. So,
and it's not free for the church.
Exactly. Jason Whitlock is wrong on this one. I mean, you put it like this: go into any hotel, most likely, and you can get a free Bible, the Gideon's Bible. They leave their Bibles there for you to take. You don't have to steal it. They want you to take it. But I want Trump to make these sales out the roof. And I want Christians, religious people, whatever, get a grip and just be consistent. Somebody is selling the Bible and it happens to be Trump, and you all up in your underwear all twisted because he's selling the Bible. I bet you bought the last few that you have too. Get a grip.
Yeah, Yana, I want to get your thoughts on this. Before you begin, though, I want you to take a look at this clip. Now, this is Joy Reid responding to this. Take a look and then let me know your thoughts. One second. What is wrong with my internet? Let's see here.
Well, to my knowledge, Jesus, the Messiah, never paid off a porn star to cover up committing adultery while his third wife was pregnant with his fifth child. Nor do I recall Jesus selling a golden calf or golden sneakers that his followers could worship as an icon to him. Jesus certainly wasn't hawking Bibles as part of a never-ending grift.
He's so obsessed.
For a low price of $59.99, you can buy the God Bless the USA Bible, the only Bible endorsed by Trump. Because to Donald Trump, a Bible is no more sacred than a Trump board game or Trump water. It's just another cheap tchotchke to sell to his followers, as is faith. It's just another thing to sell to frightened white evangelical Christians to get them to set aside what they know about their faith and vote for Trump anyway, to keep him out of jail.
Obsessed.
Our knowledge.
Wow. So you know she had to throw in the race baiting, the racial grift, and she had to throw in the Trump stuff. Yeah, she had to get it all into the 40-second clip. What a nasty woman. Yana, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, she's just an angry person. I don't have much to say about her comments. I mean, they will find anything to be angry about, and for her to comment on Jesus, what does she even know? Like, she is promoting degeneracy in the country, and now she's talking about Jesus. Like, come on, I'm not going to listen to this strange lady. But in terms of Trump selling the Bible, so when I learned about it, it reminded me of something I heard from during my more free-spirited years. I was listening to a guru who was coming to this area and was doing a 2-day workshop for free every year. And he didn't have that many people really showing up. And one time he said something interesting. He said, if I would have charged for this event, I would have had twice as many people here. And that really stuck to my mind, because it's an interesting concept that people actually value something that they pay for more than when it's given away for free. So that's a very good move, I think, on Trump, because people who are going to buy these Bibles, they will value them, and they will value whatever else that they got with them, like the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and hopefully they will read and they'll promote, whatever is in them, in the Bibles. And so I think it's a great move. It works well with human psychology and with economics and with the free market economy of this country.
Yeah, these women, you can tell they're like, she's like a little demon. Anything to do with the Bible, she had to come. It's itching out of her. That demon is itching in her so bad. She had to comment and say something. Who has an issue with someone promoting the Bible? I don't understand.
And it's like, it's a choice. You don't need to buy it. Like, it's just,
you would think that with her mindset that she would be happy that he is reading and promoting the Bible, because all the things that she named, you might say somebody, well, maybe if you start reading the Bible, maybe your life can be transformed, your mind, your heart, whatever. She's full of it. I hope there's a scripture that I just haven't read in the Bible yet. Maybe I just haven't come to it yet. But is there a scripture about wearing somebody else's hair? I mean, like another man's hair. I'm serious.
Yeah, she's obsessed. They are obsessed with everything that this man does. But you know what I love about him? He's so unbothered. Like Jason Whitlock, fat dude. Like, he's not gonna take it down. He's not gonna take your instructions. You wish that he would, but he's not. Like, why are you coming for him? Like, that's my issue with conservatives. Like, it's so stupid. Like, what do you want to be, bro? Like, you think that it's helpful for you to shoot at Trump when everybody else is shooting at him? Like, do you think that that's helpful? You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, bro. Maybe you would like it if he was selling, instead of, the bread of life, he was selling actual bread because you're hungry. Right. I don't know. What would you want him to sell? I don't know. Like,
on this issue, come on, get a grip.
Yes, get a life.
I want to acknowledge our super chatters. Once we entered this subject, we got so many. I want to acknowledge you guys. So thank you so much. We have Thunderbolt McGillicuddy. He said, happy Easter, ladies, and everyone in the chat. Yes, happy Easter, Thunderbolt.
Thank you.
All right. Allie, she says, I'm so proud of my man Trump for his Resurrection Sunday message. I'm buying his Bible. Take that, Jason.
Yep,
All
ours
right.
is on order.
That's right, Allie.
Absolutely. Jalinda, thank
Hi.
you. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you all. Every super chatter here. Wow, Kinsey, love your message, ladies. We love and support your
Thank you.
mission. Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, we're building a community here. Allie, thanks again, Allie. We certainly appreciate it. Yes, every super chat, we really do. You guys are part of the community, part of the family here. Of people that love the truth, love freedom. My goodness, I mean, our U.S. Declaration was founded on biblical ideas. You know, the innate human dignity, natural human rights, government by consent. All that is biblical principles. I'm happy he spotlighted it because anything Trump talks about is going to get the press, is going to get news. So if this helps someone, even just who may not open their Bible, say I support Trump, I'm going to buy a Bible. Thank God and praise God for it.
Yeah. I think it's I'm going to say a brilliant idea because typically, of course, many of us, we have our Bibles, we have our constitutions and all these. I think it was just a novel idea, something so simple and like, oh, what? You know what? That'll do it.
And if you're a student of the word, it costs money. Like my husband just bought, his favorite Bible is the African American Jubilee Bible. And he had to buy it like 3 times because he keeps losing it. And every time he loses it, he gets so mad because it's like $100.
Yeah,
it's because he likes the certain concordances, how it's explaining stuff like that. So if you're a student of the word, a $60 Bible is not, think about how much we spent for our books in school. Like $60. Don't you wish you could get a book for $60?
Yes, definitely.
It's nothing.
Yeah, it certainly isn't. So no issue from here for me on this.
Not
at all.
Stop being a hater, Jason.
Yeah. Oh no, Jason, I was surprised.
Me too on this one. I was
surprised. So moving right along, we got to continue on this. And speaking of having Joy Reid up, what was it, Friday? We were talking about Coleman Hughes on The View. And he brought up the idea of the point, he was pushing back against this idea of anti-racism. Anti-racism and racial reparations. So this is what people like what's her name? D'Angelo. What's her first name? Robin D'Angelo, Ibram X. Kendi. These people, they've changed. Now we're no longer talking about racism. It's anti-racism. And then now this new term within the last decade, I guess last 10 years or so, racial reparations has become a thing. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. This idea of anti-racism and things like that. Ibram X. Kendi, he has a book called Anti-Racist Baby that pushes these themes. Ta-Nehisi Coates has a book, In Between the World and Me, who pushes the same type of theme. Shelley, what are your thoughts on this new wave race and thoughts on racism or teaching behind of racism?
Just like they are accusing Trump, at least selling this Bible, like Joy Reid is intimating that basically it's a grift. These people are grifters. There's nothing new. They're finding some little novel, nuanced way to promote their ideas, which are still racist. They're still racist because they hate white people. They hate our country, and they want white people to grovel at them and give them money, pay them money for generations of slavery, historical slavery. They are grifters in the utmost sense. Their books, their ideas will still have you, if not more, will have you hating white people you love, even yourself.
Oh, definitely yourself if you're white. And I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal. Before we go into it, I looked this up on NPR because you hear these leftists pushing anti-racism now. This is a new coin. This is a new word. And I was like, well, what? I want to get a definition of it. And so NPR defines it as, let me see here. Well, they say everyone who lives in the United States kind of learns some form of anti-Black racism. So they referenced a book by therapist Resma Menakem. Uh, I'm sorry, Singh, Dr. Singh, who calls white supremacy white body supremacy, as a way to emphasize how racism has visceral physical impact, elevating white bodies and bringing trauma to non-white ones. So again, they have these tips on here. Learn the history of racism and anti-racism, especially in America, to educate yourself about the complexities of the issues you'll be confronting. So what are your thoughts on this, Crystal? I mean, have you been using the term, and do you find it better defines racism in America?
These people are fools. These people are fools. Like they don't have enough to do. And you guys, we have to push back on them, because these people are driving this whole racial thing, like Shelley say, straight to the bank. Like there is no I think it was, I forget who said it, but it was like the civil rights movement became the civil rights industry. And so once it has become that, there is no reason to get rid of this whole civil rights thing. White people are just trying to live their lives. And if you call that racism, then maybe we need a dose of racism. Maybe Black people need a dose, but we just need to stop focusing on race. It's getting so annoying and so corny. Can we just all be Americans, please?
Yeah, I want to get you in on this, Yana. And before I do, take a look at this slide here. So this is actually from the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. I actually was going to take my son to this museum this week since he's on break. And after seeing this, I don't know if I'm going. So they have this thing, being an anti-racist.
Anti-racist.
Right, here it is again, the anti-racism. And you can see they say race does not biologically exist, yet how we identify with race is so powerful. It influences our experiences and shapes our lives. In society that privileges white people and whiteness, racist ideas are considered normal throughout our media, culture, social systems, and institutions. So what are your thoughts on this, Yana? Again, they talk about this idea of whiteness, privilege, systemic racism. What are your thoughts there? Oh, you're
on mute.
They're the biggest racists. People who have come up with these terms, people who are constantly talking about white people because all they see is race. These types of people, and I see this unfortunately in society, that people are obsessed these days with race because of people like this. These are the people who are creating these museums, who are, stocking the museums with whatever artifacts that they find and whatever displays that they choose. These are Marxists. These are and they're new type of Marxists who are really like just obsessed with race. Because actually what's interesting, I was going to say the person who was on The View, Coleman Hughes, who with the book, he's actually a perfect Marxist. He is the best, he's the best representation of what a Marxist should be, the good kind. Well, I mean, he's confused, his ideas still would not work, but he actually is talking about class and separating people based on their where they are financially and not by race. So and they hated him. Like, they were just shaking talking to this guy when he actually was talking sense, even though that's also socialism what he was talking about.
Agreed.
But these people, they are vile, they're actual racists, and they absolutely hate white people. They want to destroy white people as a race. and whatever that they're doing is they want white people to feel guilty. They want them to, I don't know, outbreed themselves. I mean, actually, like just like white people were trying to do in the past in Australia. I don't know if you know about this, but in Australia, there were, when the British were there, controlling everything, they were actually kind of forcibly, or they were encouraging the Aborigines to have children with the white people, because after 3 generations, they didn't look Aborigine anymore. So that was the whole concept, to outbreed them so they wouldn't exist anymore. So I really think that right now, these anti-racists, they think that if they destroy the white race, then the world is going to be, somehow more harmonious.
Yeah. And I want to get your thoughts on this, T. On the same Smithsonian web page here, they feature author Ibram X. Kendi. And so he has a book. This is like he is acclaimed on leftist circles, How to Be an Anti-Racist. And part of what he says is being all racial. He says being anti-racist is different for white people than it is for people of color. For white people, being anti-racist evolves with their racial identity development. They must acknowledge and understand their privilege, work to change their internalized racism. So it's not a question whether they're racist, and interrupt racism when they see it. For people of color, it means recognizing how race and racism have been internalized. So we aren't racist, it's you white people. And whether it has been applied to other people of color, not white people of color. T, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? This is on the Smithsonian's website.
It's no surprise, though, because when you think about Smithsonian, I think about Oprah Winfrey, and she's the one who lent money to millions of dollars to have this thing built in the first place. So it tracks. However, so I would say I'm conflicted, but I'm not, because I might be a racist. I don't know. But when you look at people, it's obvious that you see color. And there's people are like, oh, I don't see color. You see color, like it's an identity. Like you see a woman, or you see a man, or you see a child. However, the way they've made racism a religion, and they made it something that they're obsessed with, that they live by and die, that they live and breathe racism. For what? I don't know. Maybe they don't have anything else to do with their lives. But this wokeness is becoming an obsession, and it's becoming a sickness. And they're going too far versus just seeing color, versus making racism a whole big thing by itself. And it's a mental illness, I think.
Yeah.
Racism, the way that they have it, is a mental illness.
Yeah, I agree there. And just like Shelly, you always say the left has made kind of like LGBT a religion. Black people have made anti-racism a religion and placed deism within Black skin. And that's how it feels.
Yes, Queen.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
And the LGBT, the alphabet community, that's next under racism, that they're just
Black people
out of their mind.
It's all fake. It's all fake and it's all phony. We don't believe it. Look how we live. Look how we live our lives. Look how we represent ourselves. Like, we don't believe any of that. Like, and so it's almost like you're just saying it and you don't want to live up to it and fulfill it. You keep convincing yourself that in Africa thousands of years ago that we were, like kings and queens, and that somehow
wait a minute
that to you.
Wait a minute, that's my tribe.
I'm just
Queen of Sheba tribe here. No.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Actually, for me, I feel like the whole DNA testing and all that stuff, it just contributes to this mental illness. Because I'm from the Aruba tribe, or I'm from this. You don't know where you're from. just
No,
by
but
them
we talk
telling you
about stuff
because
like
they
that.
told you.
We say it for fun, you know, just kind of like girl talk. What do we say? Black girl magic. But we don't not even necessarily. We don't, like you said, it's not a religion to us, right? If somebody doesn't not acknowledge me as a queen or black girl magic, white
Grand
people,
Rising
I
Queen.
don't give a damn. It's not that important to me. I do it for fun, you know, just for laughs, for sisterly love, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but
Even
I'm
within the
not a queen
conservative,
because of my skin color. I'm a queen because my father is the king of the world.
right?
That's why I'm a
And even within the conservative movement, I'm seeing where they're separating as well. And I don't really agree with it because I thought we're supposed to be all one when we're conservatives and we think like that. But they're starting to divide within the conservative movement as well.
I do have to push back a little bit on that because I don't see anything wrong with people looking into Black people, Italian Americans, Irish Americans. I don't see anything wrong with people looking into their heritage and taking pride in that. You know, I have a friend who she's a white woman here in America. She did the whole lineage, and she found out she has she's Irish. She's her mom and dad are Italian, and she found out that she has a large portion of her is Irish, and she took great pride in it. You know, she wants to, go to Ireland, and again, that's not for everybody. But to me, if somebody looks into their heritage and they find out you were, some queen in Africa, your heritage is there, whatever. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. But again,
I just don't believe in it.
Well, I mean, to each his own, and this is the problem now. I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, when you start to idolize that, when you start to worship skin color, and feel like your skin color or your race is supreme over another and things like that, when it starts to divide people, right, there is where it becomes an issue, in my opinion. But if you are one who just wants to look into your heritage, your lineage, it's cool. It's something I would actually want to do that as well. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't.
And look, if they can say
like
a man can be a woman, if they can say a man can be a woman can be a man, and whatever, then I can say that I am of the Queen of Sheba lineage.
I just think that it just doesn't matter. I think that we don't focus enough on the future. We keep focusing so much on the past while our future is dying, like our children. Exactly. We don't focus on that. Like, who cares if you were the Queen of Sheba and you live over here in New York City in the pink houses or the projects or something? Like, who cares if you can't deliver? So that's the only thing with me is that we're just kind of obsessed with it, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. It really doesn't. Forgetting those things that are behind us, I press forward to the mark of the high calling through Jesus Christ. That's what we're supposed to be doing as Christians, is focusing on the future, and we just keep focusing on the past, and it's not helping us at all.
Right. I think that's why I don't even like the DNA testing, because who cares at this point? We're here. We're in the present, so just keep moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on the person, honestly. I mean
it was supposed to be something for fun. Like, people do for fun, and it's not supposed to define you.
Agree.
So, like, your background shouldn't define you. It's what you, your culture, who you are as a person, your education, what you bring to this world, like, that's what defines you. And what annoys me is that when people assume that everyone sees them, like T said, we see color, okay, but the color of someone's skin is just as important to me as the length of their eyelashes.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally a physical manifestation of the body.
Yeah.
So it's like, it would be ridiculous for me to assume something or judge a person or treat a person a different way because, their eyelashes are long or short, or their eyebrows are a certain way. Like, it's just as, it's the same thing. And so the fact that they're focusing on race so much, that makes them racist, because then you're giving too much credit, too much attention to something that's just a physical, that's just how a body looks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Newsflash, there's only one race. It's called the human race. So like you said, if it separates, KJ, that's a one thing. For fun, whatever, just for your own knowledge, okay, fine. But there's only one race. It's called the human race. Do we have different cultures, ethnicities, languages? Absolutely. But there's only one human race. God made animals, plants, and humans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I like that you brought it up, T, that the conservative movement, like it's almost like separating here, like it was Shadow Jackson that did YouTube. You guys go watch it. It's called The Crisis of the Black Conservatives. And just like they get to the conservative party because they like some of the things that and KJ, you say this too. You don't like the big tent theory, but yeah, they like some of the things that President Trump says, but then they get to conservative and they tout this black stuff and the black needs and what the black people need and what the black and brown communities need. And it's like, no, don't come over here with all that mess.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to fall into. I used to be that way.
Yeah, me too.
And it is easy because you're born and bred to think that way, especially in the Black culture. That's just the way it is. You're born and bred to think that way. And so it's very difficult. It's really like a matrix almost. It's very difficult to think outside of that when that is all your thought. Even Christians, even Christians think that way when, the Bible talks about, it's all about, born again, Jesus and that sort of stuff. And they even resort to race and black this and black that, or white this and white that. So I think what really woke me up is just seeing how the LGBT community has catapulted or exploded with this idea of identity. And so I feel like, and I've said this before, if this was the end result of civil rights, I don't even want it.
I don't want it either.
Because I'm just like, when you hear about, it's just, you talk, now we've gotten into binary and, people want to be called ver, vin, v, and all. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Again, mental illness. I don't think we have many people that are really in their right mind, and it is indifferent, whatever sect or whatever religion, whatever group you want to put yourself in. We still have those people who aren't in their right mind, and we just got to separate them out of the group.
Attention seeking too. Like, people are very lonely, and and instead of us instructing them the right way to be seen and to be heard, they tell you, you just kind of need to be seen and heard. And that's not true. You have to earn the acceptance of your peers. You have to earn the respect of the people around you. It's not something that's given. You cannot be respected and seen and valued just because you want to be. That is the reality of life. I don't care what they tell us. The way that they're going now is not, it's not going to be sustainable. It has to be earned.
It's interesting, Crystal, what you're saying, because when I'm thinking about the the alphabet groups, this transgenderism, again, leftism is their religion. And what they are really doing as well, in addition to so many other things, they are always making people or identities another race. They have to add more. They're making them into other races. And if you look at history, every civilization, every quote unquote race in that civilization has vied for first place. They want to be somewhere up in the hierarchy. So all of these isms and trans this and LGBT, they're just, if you will, smaller races that are vying for attention.
Right. And let me say this, I have no issue with anyone who is homosexual or anything. Like, trans is a little crazy to me, but you're homosexual, whatever you want to do it. That's you. That is not the issue. The issue here is I don't want to have to see you. I shouldn't think of you as the gay person, the lesbian. You are, if Ann is gay, okay, you're still Ann. I don't need to know this. Even if I know, I don't have to care. And this is what it feels like the LGBT community now, you must care, you must like, you must affirm all of this stuff, and it's ridiculous. Also, and this is something that is not said a lot, it is an alternative lifestyle. You know, we have fallen into a situation where now we are trying to level or make equal heterosexual and homosexuality. It is
Right.
not equal. It is an alternative. Now, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but it's not the base of civilization. It's not the base of anything. The base is heterosexual lifestyles.
Your point of view, what you're saying right now, this is what they want, and they almost succeeded, pretty much to make this. What you're saying is a minority voice at this point.
Yeah.
Because to say that their style, their lifestyle is alternative, it's actually is wrong to say these days.
I know.
Because we're not supposed to call our heterosexual lifestyle normal anymore. It's all normal. And if we call them abnormal or alternative, then that's an insult. So, and I don't know, like, people really need to wake up and understand that there's a little war against heteronormative people, against tradition, against religion, and people need to wake up. And talking about social rights movement, when you said, KJ, that it started with Black people, but now it transformed into gay and trans. Well, Black people need to understand that they're being used, and they have been used. So and it should have really infuriated Black people that their struggle for the because they were discriminated based on race, something that they were born with, and it was being equated with homosexuality, and that is infuriating.
Well, their argument is that they were born that way as well. And then going back to what Crystal said about just attention seeking, it's made its way down to even people who want to be vegans. They call themselves vegans and vegetarians. Like, this whole, how I want attention, I'm special, making me special because I'm this way. It's not, it's everything. And this is where I'll say it's a mental illness. Even veganism.
Everybody wants their name up in lights.
You went out.
No,
I said everybody wants their name up in lights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but when you say that it is on equal footing as heterosexual, heteronormalcy, then this is why they're pushing it in the schools. We talk about heterosexual lifestyles and things like that in school because it's
normal.
It's normal. It's nature.
Right. Nobody wants to hear about all this butt plugs, and you hear you telling our kids all this stuff, in kindergarten, in lower school. Nobody wants that.
No. And
I talk to Gays Against Groomers. They're saying the same thing. It's not right, but they're pushing this, and it used to be on the fringe, and now they have brought it to mainstream because people refuse to say it is not equal. It is alternative. If this is what you want to do it. I have friends all kinds of friends that, gay, straight, whatever.
Me too.
I don't look at them. I don't say, oh, let me call my gay friend. Let me call so-and-so by name. I don't look at them as the gay girl, the gay guy. No.
Well, I mean, I do. Because
I do too, T.
Well, I don't.
I do. Because if I need it, it depends on what it is. I'm like, oh, let me call my gay friend this, or let me call my gay friend that, because I will. That's like I would be like, oh, let me call my white friend, or let me call.
I don't do that, and I'll be honest with you. I never said this to you guys, but I thought about it like maybe like a year ago. I think it was when Yana got married, got engaged, and I think Yana is the first person. I don't see color when I see Yana. I don't look at her as a white girl. She's just like this person that she just regular. I just see her. I just see Yana. I think she's
I agree
like
with
the
that.
first person
No,
that I have ever.
Not the first, but I agree with that because when people say to me about the show and they be like, "Oh, and the white girl," I'm like, "Who? The what? The Russia?" I'm like, "Russia? She's oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about young." I'm like, that's many white girls on the show.
I see color, but I think that is beautiful. I love all of our differences, all of our, similarities. Like I love people that are Black, that are white, that are Asian. Like I love how God made us, like short, tall, I say skinny, fat. Like I love like all of our different kind of nuances. So I think that that's beautiful. When we look at each other and we be like, "Oh yeah, you white girl," and I'll say, I'll be like, "White people problems," or like when I got to wrap up my head. I go to a predominantly white church, and so sometimes I walk in with my head wrapped. And they be like, "Oh, you wrapped your head in it." I'm like, "No, that's just the lay down my
Please don't tell me you do that. Please don't tell me
Black
you do
people
that.
problems."
Please don't tell me you do that.
Not the bonnet, right? Not the bonnet.
Not the bar.
No, to
Her
wrap my
scarf.
edges.
You'll see her in her
Scarf.
scarf. Yeah.
Please don't tell me you do that.
Leave me alone.
Scarf, as long as it's not a bonnet, I'm cool with it.
Oh, okay.
Now everybody wears the scarves out.
Okay.
Wrap it nicely, or we got a nice scarf, that's fine with me. But
sorry, audience, that's
we
black
gotta move
girl
past.
problems.
I hardly wear scarves at night unless I freshly got my hair wrapped. That's probably the only time I wear scarves at night. I don't wear scarves.
Oh, I gotta wear mine. I don't like lint and stuff in my hair. I wear scarves.
That's why you use a satin pillowcase.
That's how the edges lay down, y'all.
I
wear my little bonnet at night.
Yeah, I don't wear the bonnet. I wear
like a silk bonnet thing, whatever.
Yeah, silk scarf. I wear a silk scarf.
Look, Yana is sitting there like black girl problems.
I mean, I love scarves. I think scarves are beautiful.
But you wear them as scarves, not on your head.
Well, actually, I mean, it depends. In Russian churches, we're supposed to wear a scarf.
Oh, cover your head. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and actually, I've noticed when I went back there, I noticed that in the winter, a lot of girls, it's like the new fashion to wear, rather than a hat, to wear a scarf.
Got it.
All right, well, we will continue to comment on this. It's really interesting theme and issue to follow. But you would think now we would be post-racial, but it's like gotten worse. It's like everybody's all about race. So we'll continue to follow it. I do want to acknowledge our super chatters. We have here Sonia.
Oh gosh.
She says the left uses scripture often when it suits them often. Governor Hochul compared jab recruits to disciples, and she had the little thing
religion,
COVID thing around her neck too. Necklace.
Her vax.
Right.
Religion.
Do you ladies have a POB where I can send you fabric bookmarks for your Bibles and journals?
Oh, I would love that. I'll send it to you. I follow her on Instagram, you guys. Follow her on Instagram. She's really cool. I'll send you my
Yes, thank you. Yep, we certainly will. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you. We certainly appreciate it. All right. So we're moving on to the final topic of the night. Let's see here. So we kind of keep it along the same theme. I mean, goodness gracious, not even June yet. To what happened at Starbucks. So a Christian woman has come forward to say Starbucks fired her for refusing to use transgender people's pronouns. So I have a clip here, and let me see. I want to play this for you guys. All right, here it is. So she's given some information regarding what happened. Here it is.
Enforce this policy that if somebody's like transgender, like you have to go by their preferred pronouns. And for me, I was willing to call the person by their name. I was willing to avoid using pronouns, but it is against my faith to lie, even if it's the smallest lie. So that means if I see that you are
Okay. And so she talked about it was against her faith. And I want to just show you another part. It's a little long, so I want to get to the point.
A little propaganda to change the way people think and the way people speak. So with all those factors combined, I said respectfully, hey, I'm willing to call you by your name. I'm willing to avoid using pronouns, but it's against my faith to lie and say that you are a woman if I know that you're a man.
So then that's what she said, she wouldn't use the pronouns. And so then this final part
to me and says, you need to talk with me and the district manager. And so they were talking with me and basically telling me that there had been complaints made about me and how I guess like I'm doing things that are like homophobic or whatever. And I feel like one of the complaints that were made came from the same person that was in my dream. But as predicted, I got fired.
So, and she was talking. I encourage you guys to do a Google search or any search engine that you use to pull up her full video, because she goes into detail about her Christian faith and how she was uncomfortable with using pronouns. So I'm going to start off with you, Shelley. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think she was right to do that, or what are your thoughts on the whole situation?
Well, I thought about this, and I'm going to say something I know is going to upset some people. Make up your minds. What do you want? And why do I say that? Because typically speaking, at will employment, conservatives support that. And in the past, conservatives have said, oh, well, people should be fired because they're not following the authority of the management. They don't get to make, businesses can fire you for whatever. So now we have it being fired for a person being Christian. So you can't have it both ways, conservatives, Republicans. Are we going to have at will employment? Is the business going to be able to decide who they want working for them for whatever reason, or are we not? Now, I'm not saying that she should have been fired. Of course, I don't agree with her being fired in that sense, but I'm going to go back to the principle. What side? Don't say you're going to support her now because she's a Christian when you didn't support other people who were fired for their reasons. And I'm not talking about just outright insubordination, but let's just be consistent. That's all I ask for.
All right. What about your thoughts, Crystal?
No.
Is that the way at-will employment works?
No. And they love to discriminate against Christians. I actually went through this on the job, and I can be very, very nice, but I will go off if you try to discriminate against me because of my beliefs. They do this to Christians all the time. Oh, you can't bring Jesus in the Bible. You can't say, God bless you. You can't say this. And I remember them cursing. Every 5 words that came out of people's mouth was a F, was a SHIT, was every curse in the book. And I remember one time I said to one of my clients, I said, you know what? God bless you. And they were like, you can't bring religion. I said, wait a second. I said, if I'm going to be restricted, everybody in here going to be restricted. If you're offended by me saying God bless you, I'm offended for you saying curse words every 5 seconds. And that's what Christians need to do. We need to stand up for our principles. I'm okay, like you said, at will employment is totally fine, but I refuse to be the only one discriminated against. If I'm going to be restricted, everybody in that Starbucks is going to be restricted because I want to be called Princess Crystal. And that's what I would have said if I was her. My pronouns, my father is the king, and I want to be called princess. That's what I want to do. And I would have sued the mess out of them people.
All right. I want to get your thoughts on this, Yana. Do you agree that she should have been fired, or do you believe that she should not have been fired?
Well, it's from what she's saying, it seems like she really tried to work with them. She did say, I will call this person by their name. Like if she's referring to this person, she could just use that person's name instead of a pronoun. So they were not okay with that. And
Right.
so she had a good point saying that she didn't want to lie, because basically if she says that's a he and that's not a he, then she's lying essentially. So I think that they're fascists, and so it's a fascist / communist army that is against Christians, and they just didn't like her, and they decided that she was not the right person to be there, because they only want the people of their party working together. But I want to see more people of different faiths speaking up, because I'm pretty sure there are Muslims that work in
Exactly.
Starbucks, and I don't know, like Muslims are usually very outspoken about this issue, so I wonder where they are and how they, or have they ever come up with this problem. So I'm really wondering what's going on with that, and I hope more people will come up and maybe speak up against, this kind of treatment of employees.
Yeah.
Christian employees.
I just say employees, period. Just go ahead. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Chris. I mean, T.
Yeah, T, what are your thoughts on this?
So this is why I think that conservatives should be more prepared in cases like this, to have more than one job or have other streams of income, because this is where we are right now. And as unfair as it is to us, I mean, such is life, because I've been through a similar situation on one of my jobs. I actually was
when she telling some good, she dropping some gems.
I was reprimanded because, so we had this, it was a she, but she wanted to be called something else. And I didn't do it. I didn't call her the something else. I'm not going to say the name because then, this is public. But so in the meetings or whatever, I guess she must have reported me or something to not even HR, but to the CEO. And I was actually reprimanded. I was actually reprimanded for not following through and calling her what she wanted to be called. And I would say she and her name, but she wanted to be called another name and all of that. And I'm like, first of all, it slipped, but it didn't slip because it's me, and they know that I'm conservative. So I think they were already expecting this to happen from me because I'm not scared, and I was reprimanded. And so I quit.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple, because you have to stick to your guns. Like, these jobs, they don't care about that stuff. They're more woke than anything else. And this was a company that was DEI and B, friendly or whatever. So this is what happened. And so I just quit. Like, I'm not going to let y'all play in my face with some dumb, delusional bullshit. No. So I quit.
Yeah.
And I'm fine.
And again, we may need to look into this, but because I think most of the country is at will. But and that does mean you can be fired for any reason, unless it's illegal. And so one of the things that is illegal is discrimination based on religion.
Exactly. Let's talk about that, because religious accommodations, again, this particular woman sounds like, they did it for her religious reasons, but legally speaking, religious accommodations cannot cause an undue hardship on the business. If they do, the business does not have to honor them. And I'm saying that to say, again, as conservatives, we need to be consistent, because although we support this woman, but we don't support her being fired, but we support what she stands for, then when other people are fired for foolishness, we don't want to do that. We say, oh, they didn't follow the rules, they didn't follow the law, or whatever the case may be.
But as conservatives, one of the principles, there is a hierarchy, I would say, of things that we support. We support freedom of speech. We support freedom of religion. That's on the top of the list of things that we support. So yes, we understand, and many of us may agree with the at-will hiring and termination. If it
doesn't mean it's always right either, is what I'm saying.
Say again?
It doesn't mean it's always right, even that
nothing is always right.
So in this case, as much as we support this woman, the company may be within their rights based on the undue hardship, even though she's a Christian. All I'm saying, again, if we are going to support her because she's a Christian, standing on her principles, which we support, then we need to also take that same effort behind other people who are fired under the at-will principle when we know it's BS.
We have to start reading this. We have to start reading this code of conduct too, because I'll admit, I don't read all the sentences in the code of conduct or whatever we sign into. So we have to start reading, because maybe we're the ones who are being ignorant here and thinking that we're supposed to, we have rights. So these certain rights, but we don't, because it's in the code of conduct.
Right.
You shall obey to the LGBT and whatever they say.
Well, first
I
of
think
all,
it's a bigger issue here.
I, as a Christian, would not work at Starbucks.
Me
I
either.
have not been to any Starbucks that you don't see all these pins with all this flags and LGBT and I mean these weird stuff. You know, it's all there. You know, you talk about identity politics, and I mean that is the place right there.
Yeah.
So I would never work there as a Christian.
Me
That's
either.
number one. She said she had worked there for about 2 years. I don't even know how she stood there for 2 years, but I actually know a manager who worked at Starbucks who was Christian and a conservative Republican. She was an old elderly lady. She worked there for many years.
What's she doing working there then?
What's wrong with that? I mean, why can't Christians work at Starbucks, or why shouldn't they?
No. She's just saying it's hard. That's what she's
Right,
saying.
exactly right. You walking on a minefield. It's walking on a minefield because the company philosophy, the company culture is this. It's this. This is from the headquarters. So you know there are certain companies that live and breathe this stuff. Who wants to deal with it as a
That's what
Christian?
I'm saying. It's not just Starbucks. It's,
Right, that's what
it's a bigger
Exactly.
problem. It's
Exactly,
pretty much
Yana.
in every company. Didn't we?
Every industry.
We covered. I think was a UPS that had that.
Every
issue.
industry, the medical
every-
institutions, legal. Every
Nowadays,
industry.
there, you know, if you work in the office and they ask you to like choose your pronouns now everywhere and like in your email and all that stuff, and people are just cowering to it.
Yeah, they are.
That is the problem. You know, that lady, she spoke up. You know, she actually made a video about it. But how many people are just saying, okay, I'll go along with it just so I can keep my job? And that is the problem right now, is that Christians are not speaking up.
Yeah.
You can tell what company that you should not work for in June. Once they change their logo to all these rainbow colors, you know which companies that you stay away from.
Well, I mean, the industry that I work in, they have that. People put that up, all that stuff. But I will go on the record and say every meeting that I've gone to, that I'm a part of, whether it's virtual or in person, sometimes they'll go around and ask, what's your pronouns? And when they ask me, I say, Shelly. Sometimes I like to piss them off, and I know who it is. Sometimes in the virtual meetings, I'll type in, they have all these pronouns or whatever, and I'll type in human, American, female.
But they really ask, what's your pronoun?
Yeah.
It just depends on the meeting. Some people, they just do it. They think they're making rapport or, you know, trying to be nice. I'll just say Shelly, but I will type in. Sometimes I'll do it just to piss them off, because I want them to ask me. I want them to say something. I want them to say, like, you know, you can't put that. I've been waiting for them. To date, nobody has. Damn it. But I will type in human, American, female sometimes. So
yeah, but I'm the type of Christian that, like, I really, some stuff are just so petty to me that I like, if you want to be called a she, I will call you a she. I will. Like, if that's your pronouns and I can visibly see your Adam's apple, but you say my pronouns are she, I will really try my best to honor that. Like, if you say my pronouns are they, I will try my best to honor that, because it ain't no skin off my back. That's between you and God, you and your maker. I really don't care. What I don't like is the discrimination toward Christians. Like, that means, you know, they always trying to restrict Christians and what they say. And I can't say God bless you, and I can't bring up the word, and I can't tell you what I did at church on Saturday. You know, I can't tell you that the word of God says, you know, what you're doing is a sin. Whether you care or not, it doesn't matter, right? Like, if somebody who's doing black magic tells me you step on a crack and break your mother's back, I'm not offended by that, right? But they're only offended by the gospel. They're only offended by the gospel. And that's what I absolutely will not tolerate.
I want to address the comment Michael Connor said that they can't afford to go against the system. That's the issue. That's what I said earlier. You should be able to afford it, because otherwise they're going to walk all over you and walk all over your children and walk all over the people who stand for normalcy. And this is why these people are able to get away with what they're getting away with, because you have this scared mentality. Oh, I can't afford to do this. I'm going to lose my job. Get another job.
Yep.
It's kind of job. Get your own job. Become an independent or an entrepreneur if you have to.
I mean, honestly, everybody has their line, you know, and so everybody has, you know, I will not put it in I'm not going to the pronouns thing.
Neither me.
I'm not putting it in my email. I'm not putting it on my Zoom, all that stuff. I am not doing it. There's other stuff that I'm not going to do. I'm not going to say here, but I've been offered jobs by certain companies, and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't work there because I know the culture, and I know that this is something that they were going towards, and I'm not going to do it. So, but I'm not going to sit here and say, some people are backs against the wall. I don't know people's situation. I pray that more people are able to stand up and push back against it, and tell the truth. And it's sad though that we even have to live in a society like this.
Right.
It's sad, and this is why we do what we do on here. We speak truth to power. Tell the truth. We push and advocate for freedom of speech, for freedom of religion. And we know. I mean, as far as you had said, Crystal, people get upset when you speak the gospel and things like that. The Bible talks about it. That stuff shakes them.
Yeah.
You guys laugh at remember what happened with me on here. I just wanted to say a prayer one day. I said the name of Jesus, and it caused all holy hell. I never thought it would. Because honestly, if somebody else wanted to pray, with their religion or whatever, I could care less. I'm going, whatever.
I wouldn't care. Yeah, I'm not offended because
I mean, that thing was like, that was living proof to me. I was like, wow, I mean, it is something about the name of Jesus that drives people crazy.
Well, there's something about the name Trump. It drives them crazier.
Yeah.
I don't know. Worldwide.
And when it's Trump and Jesus together and the Bible,
that's Jesus.
That's a mess, right, y'all?
Crazy. Worldwide. So I don't know, but it is what it is. We already know what the deal is, so I support the young lady. I'm sure she's young. She'll find something else, to work.
I mean, it's Starbucks. I mean, it's not like she was getting wealthy anyway.
Right,
working at Starbucks.
I hope she gets paid. I hope she's able to.
I hope she does too.
Yeah, I hope so too. We can't discriminate against anybody, including Christians. It's kind of like the same thing. Like Black people, you can't discriminate against white people just because you just can't.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are at the end of our night. Thank you guys so much for watching with us. If you're listening on Spotify or Pod or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for listening. I want to do final thoughts with you all. Oh, T, you have something?
No. I'll wait for the final thoughts.
Oh, okay. So final thoughts. I'll start off with you, Yana, tonight. Any final thoughts?
I mean, just stay strong. It's not easy right now. We're dealing with a lot, and just stay strong and fight and believe in the truth.
Yeah.
Crystal, final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thought is when Jesus was in his neighborhood and he was talking to the disciples, they called him and they said, your mother and your brother are waiting for you. And he said, who is my mother and who is my brother? I would say the same thing to believers, you guys. Find yourself a community of people that believe what you believe. There's strength in numbers. Do not allow yourself to be isolated. Come on the show, connect with us. I am telling you, you will get strength when you are amongst other people, because the world would like you to think that you're all alone. You are not. There is a remnant of people that still believe truth, and stand on that.
All right. T, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. This whole wokeism thing has become so overwhelming. It's become so, even for me, I'm just like, I don't even want to do it anymore. So that being said, this will probably be my last show on here. I'm done with it all. I'm done with the whole wokeism and everything, and just trying to come up with fighting against it. And
April Fool.
April Fool. That's what I said. April Fool. Whatever.
No, I'm dead ass.
April Fool.
I'm becoming a Democrat because that's where the money is.
Yeah,
that's where the money is. Yeah. We always say, "Show me the money." I gotta go back. They got the money.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Y'all, we didn't even flinch.
I know. Whatever. No, KJ did.
She ain't going nowhere.
Where you
Look,
coming
you tell you
from?
like that.
April Fool first. I
Look
said,
like that.
What she was saying at first, I'm like, what is she saying?
No, that ex-boyfriend. You ain't going nowhere.
Right. Y'all will pull up.
you mine.
Y'all will pull up to my house and be like, nah.
It was confusing because he was saying she did go to woke, but we're not woke. So I'm like, what is she talking about?
April Fool, yeah.
All right. Shelly, did you do yours?
No.
I
Shelly,
didn't.
final thoughts. You knocked us all out of whack.
All right. 4 words or four things. Strap up, stand up, show up, speak up. That's what we must do. We're talking about all of this, like free speech, the lady being fired, pronoun, all this stuff. Speak up. As they say on the left, speak your truth.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, same thing here. Guys, for those of you who don't know, I actually do an 8:30 show. I used to do 8:30 show about a year ago. I'm starting it back up on Thursday. It's going to be Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. We're going to do our first show, kind of like to introduce you guys to it here on Thursday. But it's going to be different than Pop and Politics. This show is going to start from a faith-based sort of faith-based theme, and talk about culture and politics from a faith-based orientation. So it's kind of like what we were talking a little bit about today. Please, if you haven't done so already, check out the channel 8:30 show. If you are a person of faith, whether it's Islam, Judaism, whatever, this is going to be the show for you because we're talking about it from a faith-based theme, but still talking about culture and politics. So this is something dear to my heart. And we're going to have people on for interviews and things like that. So definitely check it out. Again, the channel is 8:30 show. We're going to do the first show on this channel Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. All right. So that does it for us tonight, Pop and Politics. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, we're here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. live for you in studio every Wednesday at 8 p.m. This Wednesday, all the ladies are here. T, are you here this
Wednesday? Offline.
Okay, I just wanted to, okay, well.
Yes, ma'am.
I know. Anyway, well, look, at least 4 of us will be here. At least 4 of us will be here in studio on Wednesday, so you don't want to miss it. Again, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Good night.